Tutu Palace makes unique, handmade, luxurious outfits that are one of a kind.
Okay.
These particular outfits that I make, that I have actually made over these years, has been what gives me the edge over my competitors.
Okay.
My attention to detail also gives me the edge over my competitors. So you can trust that every time you come to Tutu Palace, there's something new, there's something different that you wouldn't see anywhere.
Okay.
Because this is Tutu Palace, and our attention to detail and our creativity, our unique designs are one of a kind.
Okay, that's quite interesting. I love the fact that attention to details. Hello everybody, welcome to Just for Women Africa. My name is Olalekan Amusa, the founder of Just for Women Africa. And here in Just for Women Africa, we tell the story from the African woman's perspective. And today on the show, we're going to be talking dresses, fashion, but not adult fashion, children fashion. We're here with a fashion designer named of Alexandra Morgan. She is the CEO of Tutu Palace, and she's going to be telling us on how she got started. She's into children's fashion. From what age?
From zero.
From zero to?
Till 12. I do for adults occasionally, but primarily from 0 to 12.
0 to 12.
Yeah.
Okay, but before we start the interview, you know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, tell a friend who knows a friend about Just for Women Africa. And of course, we'd like to give thanks to our host, Tia Coffee House at Airport off the Portishead Road. We shoot a lot of videos here. It's a nice place. You can come over for the holidays, have breakfast, lunch, dinner. Nice, serene environment, spacious. You can just relax, have a good time. Okay, let's get the interview started with Alex. All right, Alex. Before we go into your business, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I actually have an insurance background. I read statistics and actuarial science at the university, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I worked for 4.5 years with an insurance company, and I worked for 1.5 years as a project manager for a real estate company before I quit and finally did my own business. So from 2019 till now, I've been running my business full time.
Really? That roughly about 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. So what makes somebody from insurance move into doing business? I don't get it. I thought insurance brokers make a lot of money.
Well, I was a death claims and customer service person. It was actually all that I ever wanted to do. So good question. Like 5 years ago, if you had asked me if I ever would have, would consider doing fashion in the future, I probably would have been surprised, because it's never really was something that I considered doing, honestly, but as time goes by, you realize that you discover certain things about you that you never saw was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, I'm married, I have a daughter, she's 6. Yes, and then I'm currently doing my business full time. Okay.
All right, so let's talk about your business. It's called Tutu's Palace.
Yes.
How did you come up with that name, Tutu? You know Tutu is a Nigerian name.
I've had several clients call me Tutu. Yeah, and then I tell them nicely that, my name is actually Alexandra. Tutu is just the name of the skirt. I make these fluffy skirts that the little girls wear. Occasionally adults wear as well. Okay, the fabric that we use to make the skirts is called a tulle.
Okay.
And then when you make the skirt is called a tutu.
Okay.
Yeah. So initially I was just making tutus and customized tops. So I felt, well, this is the Tutu Palace because this is where you can get the best tutus in Ghana. So yeah, that's where Tutu Palace came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. So can you tell us, how did you actually start your business going to fashion, children's fashion, from the age of 0 to 12? How did you actually get into it? Is this something you have done from childhood? Is this something, do you have always loved sewing from childhood? Or tell us exactly how you got started.
Okay, so in 2016, I had just had my daughter. I had my daughter in March, and by June, all along I had always felt like I wanted to do something. I just wasn't sure what it was that I wanted to do. So after my daughter's christening, I had several people bring us beautiful gifts, which I was, so grateful for. But I realized that there was something different, or something that, I felt was lacking. And that was, every gift, no matter how beautiful it was, came in a bag, like a poly bag, or, like a small hamper, or even if it was a hamper, it was like, I'm going for a christening, so let me just quickly do something. But upon getting all these gifts, I just got up one day and just told my husband that, look, I finally figured out what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And so the first business that I set up was Maternity Solutions GH. For that, I was making baby hampers, obviously from the idea of being able to package gifts nicely for new moms. Mm-hmm. And I got, several clients coming on patronizing the items that I was selling, the baby products. So I think in 2018, I had one client message me and ask me if, she said she had a different order. It wasn't for a christening set. This time she wanted a top and a skirt for her daughter who was turning 1. I never had that order before, but I just told myself that, look, let me just take this challenge up, who knows? Mm-hmm. And that was the beginning of Tutu Palace. Yes. So I, got through to someone who makes the top, I made the skirt, and that was it. After the first order, I started getting similar orders for the tops and the skirt because of how nice it was. And eventually I realized that that business was picking up and it was overshadowing the hamper, mm-hmm. Business. So I decided that, okay, let me just separate that. So let me just make this Tutu Palace to, make it different. And then I can run Maternity Solutions GH separately. Okay. So Tutu Palace just, sprung up from there. Mm-hmm. And that's how Tutu Palace came about.
That's quite interesting. Just from one client to walk in.
That's it. Just one client.
Oh,
yeah.
That's quite interesting. So what would have happened if you did not take the order?
I probably would have still been making the hampers, but it's a lesson that I learned early on from my mom. I think she told me something and she said, Sandra, don't give way to small money. Not let small money pass. And I always listened to what people say. I just listen, I take, what's good, and then, so when she said it, it was in person, because I was considering, I had never done it before, I didn't even know how I was going to go about it. Mm-hmm. But taking that challenge up, thinking it was some small money, mm-hmm. and that was it. Okay. That was it.
Oh, that's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. So what happened to the hamper business? You still do it?
Well, I had to put it on hold in 2019 because I was doing mostly importation of the goods that I was using. But then the entrepreneur in me decided that, look, I don't want to be importing these clothing, like this baby clothing anymore. Mm-hmm. I want to be making them myself. Okay. So why don't I establish myself, get myself, so I took myself through fashion school in 2019. Mm-hmm. And then once I'm done with fashion school, once the business is running, which is now Tutu Palace, mm-hmm. then I can start getting in the raw materials for me to be able to make the things that I'll be using for the hamper myself. Okay. Yes, because I don't believe in buying and selling. That is me. Okay. I believe that I can actually produce whatever it is I use myself for that unique factor, for that Tutu Palace or maternity solutions factor. I love originality.
Okay.
Yes, I don't believe in buying and selling, so that's how come I had to put it on hold.
Okay, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
So you've been doing Tutu Palace for the past 4 years.
Yes.
So can you tell us what has been some of your challenges in actually setting up a business doing for children?
Well, there've been a few challenges. First of all, I have been running Tutu Palace online solely for all these years. Okay, and of course, if somebody hasn't seen you before and they're seeing you for the first time online, there's always that, is this a scam? Is she for real? But then what has helped me over the years has been the fact that I always deliver. So I think the growth has been mostly from referrals. So once somebody has ordered from me and then they see the child on my page. So, okay, I've seen somebody I know's kid on the page, and likely this person is real. And then I've had a few celebrity endorsements as well.
Okay.
So those are the things that have helped me. But initially it was a challenge because nobody likes to pay money to somebody they haven't seen or trust.
Yeah.
You understand? Yes. And then challenges of raw materials, and I think it's something that every fashion designer has. It's like a challenge that we all have. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the raw materials challenge you spoke about.
Yeah.
So, are you able to get all your fabrics from Ghana, or do you have to import some stuff?
I do
because
have.
the reason I'm asking because
yeah.
I have seen your designs; they're really beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
And so, do you get all those raw materials, all those fabrics in Ghana?
No. In fact, honestly, I do get almost about, let's say, 60% from outside Ghana.
Okay.
Yes. And then for my embellishments, I get almost about 70% from outside Ghana as well.
Okay.
Yes, because most of the things on the market are quite, for me, they're not what I like to use. I do things for kids, but it really isn't kids' business. Like, I love to do it luxury. I love to do it high class.
Okay.
So if I'm going to go for that, then it means that I need to get stuff that are unique.
Okay.
And you don't often get these things on the market. I think now fabric sellers and a lot of fabric sellers are doing much better now than before. Before you had to struggle to even get lovely fabrics. But now, especially those who sell online and all that, they're doing much better. So, but yeah, I do have to import. I import from China, I import from Nigeria mostly. Yeah, and yes, China, Nigeria. Last year, I got a few things from Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's quite interesting. All right, so you've been doing this last 4 years. You mentioned you went to fashion school.
Yeah.
So you cut, you sew.
Yes.
Do you do all? I mean, from the beautiful work which you do you do everything yourself, or you have a team?
Well, I have a team. I have an indirect team that works. Those who do my customization for the tops that I customize for adults and kids. And then I have, for my direct stuff, I do my own designing, I do my own cutting, but I have a team of tailors and seamstresses who do the sewing. Occasionally I have to help and do it myself, because in the fashion industry sometimes you have ups and downs, staff absenteeism and all that. But I don't deliver, I deliver on my promise, as in if I schedule you for today, I'm supposed to deliver today, I do deliver. I don't disappoint my clients.
Okay.
So if it takes me having to design, cut and sew to be able to deliver to a client, fair enough, I'll do it myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. Right. So can you tell us what's your opinion or perception about the fashion industry in Ghana? Do you think it still has a long way to catch up to? Or we still have a long way to learn.
Okay, the fashion industry in Ghana has gone through a lot of phases. It is still going through a lot of phases. You'll acknowledge that a lot of fashion houses have sprung up, and a lot of them are doing well. We have the Christy Browns, we have quite a few fashion houses that are doing very, very well, the Bello Edus and all that. But of course, there's more room for improvement because as a business, you don't only look to capture, your immediate environment. You're also looking to capture the bigger, like looking at the bigger picture. You're looking at Africa, so you don't only want to do well in Ghana, you want to do well in Ghana and maybe Nigeria, or Ghana and, cross borders, you know. And so, yes, when it comes to that, then it means that we do have a long way to go. I think last year or 2 years ago, I'm not too sure, I saw Christy Brown and a few other fashion houses from Nigeria being featured online on one of Beyonce's websites or so, which was fantastic. But I'm looking forward to a lot of fashion houses breaking those barriers and doing much better. So when it comes to that, we do have a long way to go.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Why do you think that Ghana, the fashion industry in Ghana is slow, is not as fast paced as Nigeria? What do you think accounts for that?
It only takes okay, so fashion in itself is, creativity, breaking barriers, and doing something that's beyond sometimes you have to create something that you yourself didn't even expect.
True.
It's about breaking barriers. So in Ghana, like I said, a few fashion houses are doing well, like the Christy Browns, because I follow them and I really, admire their, the designs and all that. But I think that a lot of fashion houses are still being too stereotyped and being too careful, because in fashion you have to be wild. Yes, I mean that is fashion, because we're moving with a trend and trends pass. You understand? So it's like it's just going like that, and it means that if you're looking to do serious fashion in Ghana and in the world and be competitive, then it means that if you want to have a competitive edge as a fashion designer, you need to move with the times. You understand? So if Ghana is slow, then that is what I would say. It's because probably the fashion designers are not moving along, the paces that these Nigerian designers, because you see some of these Nigerian designers and they are breaking barriers.
Okay.
So that is what I would say, that Ghanaian fashion designers need to do extra and work extra hard to be able to capture those markets as well.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Okay, so let's talk about let's say sustainability.
Right.
Let me try to explain. Most businesses, entrepreneurs, they start business and they're doing very well, and along the way, of course, we have a lifespan on earth. We pass away, and the businesses basically collapse or they vanish. You don't hear of them anymore. Well, what steps are you putting in place to make sure that Tutu Palace is going to be there for, if I say eternity? I mean, we're looking at brands like Coca-Cola, Versace, or
I guess
TM Lewin and the rest of them, so that after our generations have gone, your daughter will take over. I mean, your daughter's generation and her kids and just to be hearing things like Tutu's Palace.
Yeah, actually, I think this is probably something that every serious entrepreneur has thought of at some particular point. When we start with a small business, it's usually a sole proprietor, sole proprietorship. And then as we grow, we're looking at developing into an organization where probably we could float shares and all that. For that, it's more sustainable, because with the shares, then it means that other people have a stake in it, and therefore even in your absence, the business can still have a future. Okay, because when it's sole proprietorship, when everything is dependent on one person, like it is now, it means that in my absence, there will be a problem. But once it's a business where it's probably I have shareholders, I have like a company running or an established organization, then it means that this business has a future because every other person has a stake in it, and then they are mandated to make sure that this business continues to run. So as an entrepreneur, as a business person, I think that every business that is looking to have sustainability beyond the CEO, then it means that you probably have to look to developing into an actual company with all those structures. Yeah.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Okay, guys, you're still watching Just for Women Africa. Subscribe, tell a friend who knows a friend about Just for Women Africa. And today we have Alexandra with us, Morgan. She's the CEO of Tutu Palace, and she makes beautiful clothes for children from the age of 0 to 12. Okay, so you've been into business basically for the past 4 years, or let's say 5 to 6 years.
2016, so 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
What can you tell us what it's like doing business as a woman in Ghana?
Okay. Generally, I would say that what it is like to do your own business is like saying, I think recently I saw a quote on Instagram that said, I got tired of doing my 9 to 5 and said I was establishing my own business. Now I don't sleep. Yes. Being an entrepreneur in Ghana, and I don't know about the world, but yes, it's about a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights. As a woman, I actually don't let my femininity define me or have any form of hindrance in whatever it is that I want to do. When I set my mind on doing something, I pursue it in spite of all the odds. So, and interestingly, fashion in Ghana is more, I think people are more used to females being in fashion, like as heads of fashion houses and all that. So I don't think it really is a challenge being a woman, but your femininity doesn't stop you from experiencing all the challenges that come along with it, like challenges of maintaining staff, because staff will come and go. Today they're here, tomorrow in Ghana, when it rains, people don't come to work. Staff wouldn't give you prior notice, even if you have actually already given them all those clauses, while you were employing them, and they will tell you that they understand. They still would call you at 12 noon that they won't be able to come to work. That is if you're lucky that they even call you in the first place.
Exactly.
So those challenges are there, especially for a business like me that delivers on my promise. Then that means that if any staff is absent, I have to quickly go in there and then help. So staff challenges, and of course, as a sole proprietor and for a startup like mine, some of the challenges is also setting your books right. I believe a lot of businesses have that challenge from the beginning. Accounting stuff, because from the beginning, when you are like me who is doing this full time, it means that from the beginning I should have been able to separate my business money from what I spent. But sometimes some of these things you may know it, but you don't really practice it.
Exactly.
So that is also one of the challenges. And then getting the raw materials as well. Sometimes you get some orders that people see online, and there's no way to get the things that they used for that particular dress. Because those particular things would embellish it to give it the unique look that you would see, but you don't get those things here in Ghana, which is the more reason why I had to resort to importing most of these things from outside. So all these things come to play, and big challenges.
Importing in this stuff from outside doesn't it make the dresses more pricey, or you still be able to keep it competitive?
Okay, so I think as a business, every year or every time, if possible, you have to look for ways to be able to minimize the cost of production. Okay, so for me, it's cheaper when I import some of these things from Nigeria, because I compare them to the price that I get them on the Ghanaian market, and then to what I would probably buy wholesale from Nigeria, and then the price, though you would have to pay for transportation and all that, because I'm buying wholesale, it becomes cheaper. Because quite frankly, most of the Ghanaian sellers, they import from Nigeria as well.
Okay.
Yes. So, and then they have their markups. You know? So, yeah, it tends to be cheaper for me sometimes. Yeah. A few times it's expensive, but yeah.
Okay. We're about to round up the interview. I think I have 2 or 3 more questions for you. Definitely there's competition in the market. A lot of fashion designers out there doing the same thing you're doing. Why should somebody patronize you and not go to your competitor?
Okay. Tutu Palace makes unique, handmade, luxurious outfits that are one of a kind. Okay. These particular outfits that I make, that I have actually made over these years, has been what gives me the edge over my competitors. Okay. My attention to detail also gives me the edge over my competitors. So you can trust that every time you come to Tutu Palace, there's something new, there's something different that you wouldn't see anywhere. Okay. Because this is Tutu Palace, and our attention to detail and our creativity, our unique designs are one of a kind.
Okay, that's quite interesting. I love the fact that attention to details. Alex, we're about to, I know I said we were about to finish earlier, but the interview is really quite interesting. We're going on and on and on. Okay, all right. So for viewers out there who have who've loved the interview, they love the pictures and of your designs going up and during the interview, and they love to get in touch with you. And can you just give out your contact details?
Okay, so call number is 0557 347711. That's also our WhatsApp number. And then you can also send us a DM, Tutu_Palace, so at Tutu_Palace on Instagram, and we are Tutu Palace on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. That's very interesting. I'll just slide this question into the interview somehow. Would you encourage people to go into fashion designing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyway. Really?
Yes. See, fashion is like, it's a 55 billion, it's worth that much, and the sky is the limit. Like, the designs, there's only so much you can do. You understand? So yes, if you have the love for it, and you're creative enough, why not? No. Yeah. You can even become a competitor. I love competition. Yes, I love competition. Yes.
Right. Okay. So bringing the show to a close is something new I like my guests to do. So I'll give the opportunity to close the show. In between, you can tell them what you think about Just for Women in Africa, and we'll round up the show with it. Okay.
I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much, Dan. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like and follow or what? Subscribe.
And go to Tutu's Palace and make your orders.
And make your orders. If you don't have a kid, order for your niece, order for your nephew. We make everything. From zero, we make maternity clothes, we make maternity gowns, we make newborn clothes, we make pre-walkers, we make everything you can think of. We make them.
Alright, okay guys, you heard from Alex from Tutu's Palace. Make sure you place your orders. You heard everything she had to say.
Yeah.
And to the next show from Alex and I, it is...
Bye.